Run it back, nation. What is good? Thank you for being here. 56 people in here already. You know the drill. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. Need you guys to do me a favor really quick. Give me a 1 to 10 on the audio in the chat right now because I'm using a cheap USB mic right now because I'm having major technical difficulties with this very expensive piece of equipment over here. So I had to just scrap it for the day, plug in the blue Yeti whatever snowball piece of junk. So hopefully the audio is not horrible. I know it's not as good as what I usually use, but I had to turn off the air conditioner because the sound was... Now it's hot up here. Anyway, technology is wonderful, isn't it? Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Someone said pick a little fuzzy. Let me go over here real quick. Thank you guys for helping me out. Run it back behind the scenes, man. Behind the scenes of Run It Back Philly. Let me get some little bit of autofocus here. Maybe I'll be more clear. But either way, that's what we're doing, okay? Now listen. Before I get started, this episode of Run It Back Philly is brought to you by Aura. Do you know the fastest growing crime in America is identity theft? For years, this crime rate has been surging and affecting millions of Americans. I'm talking about identity theft. There's a new victim every 14 seconds. Yes, yet despite this, those who have had their identity stolen are often shocked when it happens. Imagine trying to log into your email account one day only to see the password had changed hours ago. Then you start getting notifications of activity from your bank, credit cards, crypto accounts, etc. That's when the feelings of panic, fear, anxiety, paranoia, disbelief, shock, anger, frustration, and guilt sets in. That's why I'm excited to partner with Aura, who is sponsoring this video. Aura is identity theft protection, fraud monitoring, a VPN, password management, and antivirus software all combined into one easy-to-use app on your smartphone. Aura monitors the dark web for your emails, passwords, and social security numbers and sends alerts fast right to your phone and email. When it comes to fraud, every second matters. Connect your credit and bank accounts and get notified of any changes up to 4 times faster than Aura's competitors. Their VPN allows you to stay anonymous online by keeping your browsing history and personal information safe and encrypted. And their antivirus software that will block malware and viruses before they infect your devices. Protect you and your family from America's fastest growing crime. Try Aura free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/runitback. 14 days free. You do everything on the internet. You shop on the internet, you bank on the internet, you invest on the internet. All your stuff is out there, and there's some scumbags trying to steal it every day. Sign up for the free trial, 2 weeks, aura.com/runitback. Let's get into this, man. So yeah, the Sixers president of business operations, Chris Heck. My dude's name is Heck. To leave team. All right, let me see if I can bring my browser up here. With my technical difficulties today, this is probably the most unprepared I've been for a live stream, so I apologize, but we're here, we're making it happen, okay? All right, let's see if we can just pop this in here. Okay, what's going on here? Run it back behind the scenes today, man. That's what's going on. All right, Sixers president of operations, Chris Heck, to leave team. There's your boy, Chris Heck. Now, when I read this, I said to myself, it works, guys. Process in Philly, what's up? Chris Heck is a fraud. But look, this is what we're hoping for. Seriously. What the heck? Rick Scott says in the chat. This is what we're hoping for, though. Because when last season ended, we're at the end of kind of everything we tried with the process, right? We're kind of at the end of it. Like, what more can you do in this situation? That's why I started saying sell the team, because it's getting evident that the process is coming to an end. The process is fizzling out. Everything they tried over this course of how many years is just, sadly, it feels like it's going to be a lost cause. It's going to be almost 10 years of your life that you sat down and hoped and watched and believed in That's going to end up just being Joel Embiid and the team not being good enough, and we're capped out. We don't have draft picks, on and on and on. So dudes are going to start to abandon ship. Scott O'Neil abandoned ship last year. He said, hey, this is going up in flames. I'm out. Give me my money. So the president of business operations, Chris Heck, is now out. In a statement released by the Sixers on Tuesday morning, Chris Heck announced he'll be leaving his role as the organization's president of business operations. Heck joined the Sixers in 2013 as chief sales and marketing officer and has been president of operations since 2017. So his time with the Sixers was literally basically the process. Basically, when Joel Embiid was drafted, this dude jumped on board. They tried to build a winning organization for 8 straight years, 9 straight years, and here we are, and it's looking bleak right now. And, you know, a lot of people jump in my comments and say, why are you so negative? Why are you guys this? Why are you guys that? When I had Greg and Romp on, we called it the Sell the Team podcast on Thursday night. People were mad. They were like, never bring Greg back on. He's so negative. Yeah. This channel has never been a channel for cheerleaders, for fanboys, for people that want to come on and hear some good, like, butterfly, sparkly, blowing smoke in your ears. It's not what I do. I just keep it 100, and my hope with this franchise it just keeps going down. And it sucks. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. They want to be lied to. They want me to tell you that it can be fixed and this upcoming season is going to be great. I'm not going to lie to you. If you want to be lied to, you know what to do, man. There's plenty of other news stations, YouTube channels, whatever else. But anyway, Chris Heck says, I want to thank the leadership of Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment for this incredible professional opportunity to lead one of the most important brands in professional sports. You notice with management and ownership and things like that, they don't talk about basketball. They talk about brands. They talk about investments. These guys don't actually care about basketball. Why would they? His job was to come in and help Josh Harris and Dave Blitzer continue to sell hope. Continue to get people to believe in the process. Continue to get people to buy tickets. Continue to get people to waste their time and money believing that something good was going to come of this process. His job was to take what they were doing and what BS they were feeding the fan base and turn it into giant posters in the arena, logos, playoff logos, whatever else. Everything marketing, everything business, everything selling the false hope to this fan base. That's what this guy was in charge of. Alongside some amazing colleagues, we filled our stands with passionate fans. See? Created memories for a lifetime and earned the support and loyalty of dozens of world-class partners. Cha-ching! Mission accomplished for Harris and Blitzer Sports and Entertainment. Cha-fucking-ching. Thank you to our tremendously talented marketing, sales, and sponsorship staff at the Sixers. You are the best in the business. And most importantly, thank you to the fans of Philadelphia. You are truly the best in the world. I'm sorry we couldn't deliver anything to you. He didn't say that. I just added that at the end. Heck was a Villanova graduate. Scott O'Neil, who also began with the Sixers in 2013, stepped down last June as CEO of Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment, which owns the Sixers and the New Jersey Devils. HBSE hired former Rockets CEO Tad Brown to fill that opening. So what do you guys think, man? Is this the beginning of the Sixers cleaning house? Is this the beginning of, because, people say you need a culture change. Like, this team won't change just by trading a few players, just by adding a few bench pieces, just by moving a couple contracts. This team has a culture issue. And right when the process started, Stephen A. Smith was on TV ripping it to shreds. Absolutely smoking this process idea. He was saying it's an embarrassment, it's a disgrace, it's a slap in the face to the fans, on and on and on. And we were sitting here, myself included, talking like yelling at Stephen A. Smith, and he was right the whole time. So you built a culture of basically losing on purpose. You hired a coach that you knew couldn't do anything with a team. He lost for 3 years, basically on purpose. Then you extended his contract for no reason. Then you decide, okay, he can't coach this team. We need a change. And you go and you jump on the first big name you hear in Doc Rivers, who has been traded and fired twice and only has one championship in how many years? And, all of the missed draft pick opportunities, some of the worst trades in the history of the league, cough, cough, Mikal Bridges. You start to say, all right, look, this whole organization needs an overhaul. So the president of business operations is like, you know what? Let me get this party started. I'm out. And he's gone. Chris Heck. Another interesting thing is, on the same token, with our boy Chris Heck leaving the organization, Josh Harris and David Blitzer have sold a minority stake in the Sixers, in Harrison Blitzer Sports, in the Sixers and New Jersey Devils ownership. So when I say sell the team, I freaking mean it. And this is a good start. Okay? It's only a 5% stake. Sixers, where are we at here? I just had it. Sixers resign. Chris Heck resigned. Sixers president. More news. Of course, it's not here when I want it. Did they delete it? Was it false? Sixers, Harris Blitzer. Let's try that. Harris and Blitzer parent company. Josh Harris and David Blitzer sell minority stake in Devils and Sixers. Shout out to 150 people in here, man. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Lunchtime live. Let me know what you're doing in the chat. So yeah, look, they've began, I guess, to unload certain things. I'm guessing from a business standpoint, like, look, if you get to a point where people don't believe anymore, I read this earlier, and now I got to pay for it? Come on, man. I read this earlier, and now it's trying to make me pay for it. I ain't paying for Sixers sell something. I think they changed it. I think they're changing it up on us, guys. I think Josh Harris is on to something. He's got a team of people on the interwebs, and he's like, yo, delete that now. That's not true. That's not what happened. Hold on. We're going to find it. It's gone. You sneaky bastards. NJ.com. Okay, I can get it on my phone, but I can't get it on my web browser. Anyway, here, I'll read it to you. Josh Harris, David Blitzer sell minority stake in Devils and Sixers. Front Office Sports reports Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment has sold a stake in the company to Arctos Sports Partners, reportedly valuing the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers and New Jersey Devils at $3 billion. Kay Shea says it means nothing in my opinion. Rivers is still here. Josh Harris is still here. That's true. I just wanted to say, Rasan, what's up, man? Eastwood, definitely not time to sell the team. We good with a couple more pieces. Y'all tripping. Rasan, with all due respect, my good friend, you were a Houston Rockets fan for 9 years. You came over here because we got James Harden. You followed James Harden to the Sixers. No disrespect, but you have not sat through this garbage with the rest of us. You just haven't. You just flat out haven't. You just got here. You haven't sat through this garbage with us, man. You didn't sit here in 2013 watching these dudes trade players to acquire draft picks and watching them make the wrong pick after wrong pick after wrong pick after wrong pick, watching them trade. Then another GM comes in, another president comes in, trades picks, on and on and on. No. When you have a team that the coach is begging to show effort in the second round of the playoffs in year 8 of the process, it is a culture problem. I don't think a couple more pieces are going to fix what's going on here. I would love that if that was true. I just don't think that's true. Anyway, according to the report, the deal allows Arctos to purchase more than 5% stake in Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment over an undisclosed period. So they've already begun to sell their company. Think about that for a second. This is not a conspiracy theory. These dudes bought the Sixers to make a profit. They sold hope to the fan base for 9 years. As soon as they landed a couple of players with all-star caliber potential, they jacked the ticket prices up 3 times, jacked up the concession sales, everything. And now that they can't deliver a winning team, they're selling their entire company. So they got in at what? Probably $500 million, and they're getting out at $3 billion. That's exactly what's happening. They got what they wanted. They made their money. Now they're gone. And he's trying to buy the Denver Broncos, Josh Harris, okay? And there's reports about some other rich guy, and this rich guy versus that rich guy, and a bunch of billionaires blanking each other off. You know what I'm saying? Having a blank measuring contest, having a pissing contest to see who has more money. What I'm saying is, he latched onto this. He got the money he wanted. Now he's out. I know it's only 5%, but they started selling. Michael Rubin needs to be the majority owner. Chris Smith, what's up, man? This is literally the business model of private equity firms, which is how Harris made his fortune. Right. He did it the right way. You know, buy something, lie to the people, sell hope, make a profit, get out. What do you guys think as far as like sports owners go? Like, you know what I mean? I talk a lot about how Josh Harris and these guys don't know anything about basketball, and they don't. I don't expect them to know anything about basketball. Why would they? Why should they? They don't have to know anything about basketball. They're finance majors. They grow money. That's what they do. They grow a fortune. What I'm saying is, like, winning organizations like the Golden State Warriors, they haven't been winning organization for most of their history, but obviously drafting Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green back to back to back turns you into a winning organization. So does an owner really have that much effect on the success of a team? Obviously, hiring processes matter and everything that they did. And then, the rumors come out that these owners were picking players. The rumor came out that the Mikal Bridges trade was Scott O'Neal and some other guys picking him and telling telling Brett Brown what to do. Not picking Mikal Bridges, but picking peanut allergy boy that they traded him for, that ended up being one of the worst things ever. So I don't think owners have an effect on a team by not knowing anything about sports, but it's when owners own a team and think they know something about sports and think that they should have their hand in decision making. That's when an owner can ruin a franchise, as far as the team being a winning organization. So if you have a $500 million to buy a basketball team when he bought it, then you just sit back and say, hey, I'm going to hire GMs, I'm going to hire people that know what they're doing, I'm not touching anything, then sure, the owner has nothing to do with it. You can't point fingers. These guys had a hand in decision making. He bought the Sixers for $280 million, and their company is now worth $3 billion. That's a come up if I've ever seen one. But so it's not like I'm sitting here saying I want them to sell because I want owners that know about basketball. Why? That's not realistic in the first place. I just would like owners who know that they don't know anything about basketball, that can hire the right people up top that can turn this into a winning organization. I don't think they're going to sell their entire company anytime soon. They're just trying to acquire more assets, and maybe selling a 5% stake is just getting, more investments from other people, more money, more assets, more things to buy. But it's starting, and it starts from the top down, right? So does this have anything to do with Doc Rivers' future in Philly? Does this have anything to do with Daryl Morey's future in Philly? McNugget, what's up? You read my mind, man. Yo, Glenn Rivers, GTF out. I don't know. Because, again, it's not like Josh Harris knows anything. It's not like he was sitting here saying Doc made a bad decision in Game 6 of the second round or Game 7 of the second round and we got to fire him. I don't think he pays enough attention or knows enough about basketball to know any of that. He just thinks, we hired Doc, legendary coach, top 15 of all time. The roster's not good enough yet. Give him another year. Let Daryl Morey have another season, rebuild the roster in the offseason, whatever. So, unfortunately, I think we're going to see Doc Rivers this upcoming season. And that is because the owners don't know. Amen. One, the job of the owner is to hire the right people and sit back and enjoy. I agree. There was too many hands in the fire. There was too many rich people thinking that they were playing 2K. And, if Sam Hinkie got to see it through, maybe this whole thing would have worked. But there was just, ever since the NBA stepped in and ran him out, there was just too many changes, too many kinks in the hose, too many broken links in the chain, too many things happened that you had to, fix on the fly. We applied too many Band-Aids to the process, and it just didn't work. Can we all admit that now? Can we all just admit that? You don't have to lose on purpose. You don't have to gut your entire franchise to end up with the number 3 pick in the draft, to end up with the number 3 pick in the draft to draft a Joel Embiid. You don't have to gut your entire franchise for that to happen. Gutting your entire franchise was supposed to land you 1, 2, 3 stars. Was supposed to rebuild the whole thing around 3 max contract superstar level players. It didn't happen. It did not happen. Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, on and on and on. It didn't happen. You were supposed to be able to stack those draft picks to make a blockbuster major trade. It didn't happen. You held on to Ben Simmons too long. You were forced to trade him. You end up with James Harden, who maybe this season he gets it back, but he's definitely not 25, 26-year-old James Harden. I'm just saying, if you look at how some of these other teams have built their winning franchise, They didn't have to go to these lengths. Did the Phoenix Suns gut their entire franchise to build what they have now? No. It was just the right move over the course of time. They drafted Devin Booker, I'm pretty sure, number 13 in the draft, the 2016 draft. They made the right draft picks. Then, of course, you trade for Chris Paul to put you over the hump there when they were like first round, second round exits for a couple years, but their team was still young. And then, yeah, they finessed us with Mikal Bridges. But I don't know, man. Like, it's I just think it's interesting that they've begun to sell parts of their company. And I think that might be this guy saying, hey, I made $3 billion. I bought an $80 million house in Miami. I'm going to retire soon. So I'm going to start to sell some stuff off. I think that's what's going on here. So sell the team works. The sell the team process works. Bullying works. Myself, Romp, and Greg Melly are taking credit for the Sixers beginning to sell the company. All that just to choke against Doncic. Oh, the Suns? Well, yeah. Who has a better team? Man? Phoenix sucked for a long time after Nash. Yeah, but I agree, they did. What I'm saying is, did they intentionally suck? Did they trade away every asset they had and lie to the fan base and tell the fan base, trust the process? Don't worry. We're doing this so that in a couple of years we can reap the benefits and dominate the NBA. I don't know. I think teams are bad because they lack talent, and then you get to the top of the. Obviously, they weren't signing, they weren't giving out major contracts at the time and things like that. You draft that one player, and even before the process, could they really get that player? Like, I'm old enough to remember all of the things that they did. That were just mediocre. Over the course of so many years, they just drafted guys that they thought could be studs, and they just were mediocre. The Andre Iguodala draft pick, I remember that. I'm pretty sure that was number 9 overall in the draft. Another guy that was drafted on potential. He hardly even got on the floor at Arizona, but being 6'7", 6'8", 250, built like a tank, could jump from the foul line. They drafted him on potential. Broken jump shot early in his career. They tried to make him, They tried to make him the next Allen Iverson. They were calling him AI2. Give me a freaking break. And it turns out he was just a very good role player. He wasn't that star-level player that they were hoping for at number 9 overall. Kyle Korver, I remember them drafting him out of Creighton, I believe. One of the best three-point shooters of all time. Follow the water. Iggy is 6'6", 220. Damn, Eastwood. 2 inches and 20 pounds off. How dare you host a show and not be 100% accurate 24/7. Look. What else we got, man? Why the Sixers should want James Harden to opt out. All right, let's check that out. On Forbes, why does Forbes do sports articles? Does anybody go to Forbes.com to read a sports article? Iggy is a finals MVP. Well, okay. I mean, I'm not trashing Iguodala. He's a very good role player. And let's be honest, Steph Curry is the damn MVP of the Golden State Warriors every single season. Is that a real finals MVP? Did Andre Iguodala lead the Golden State Warriors to an NBA Finals championship? Come on, man. Eastwood claims to be a Sixers fan but can't name every Sixer from the 94 team. Well, I started watching in 96. And I couldn't even tell you all the players on that team, man, to be honest with you. Why the Sixers should want James Harden to opt out. Philadelphia 76ers guard James Harden has until June 29th to decide whether to pick up his $47 million player option. For that reason, the Sixers should hope he declines his player option and is willing to re-sign for less than the maximum salary he's allowed to earn. Do you guys see that happening? Is there a chance on God's green earth that James Harden takes less money to try to win? Yes or no? Rasan says yes, there is a chance. Why would he do that? You guys honestly think he would do that? He has no choice? How does he have no choice? He can sign the dotted line and collect $47 million. He made millions already, that's why? You don't think he wants more millions? Rasan says, DJ, I'm telling you he wants to win, bro. He has money, just wait. I agree, he has money. Listen, as far as I've been out on James Harden recently, if he declines this player option and signs for less money, I may be 100% back to believing the hype that James Harden can get his game back. I would be shocked, but I think that would be something that would tell me he wants to sacrifice to win. If he wants to play for 5 more years, 6 more years, and just wants to get back in shape and be a floor general facilitator and not be relied on to give you 35 points in a pivotal playoff game or something like that, then that's what he has to do. Frank Santana says he's going to take the money and tell Daryl trade for someone that's his homie. I don't know, man. If he just wanted bread, he could have gone. If he doesn't, then he will be bullied by Philadelphia. He don't want that drama. I think you're right about that. Because Philly don't play. We were already booing this dude in the playoffs. And that's embarrassing. And yeah, Sixers fans pay attention to everything. Some other organizations, if there was a player in a situation like this and they declined the option or refused to decline it and accepted the option and took the money, maybe the fan base wouldn't really know. Maybe they wouldn't really know anything about it. Like LA or Miami, they would just show up halfway through the second quarter like they always do, take a bunch of selfies, maybe watch the third quarter into the fourth. If the team's winning, they cheer. But Sixers fans, If you pick up this player option and cap out the Sixers and you come back game 1 and look the same as you did in the playoffs last season, the boos will rain down from the sky. Sixers currently have 96.1. I'm going to vomit reading this. Sixers currently have $96.1 million committed to 11 players next season. If they keep the number 23 pick and spend it on someone who they roster next season, i.e. not a draft and stash player, that rookie will have a $2.5 million cap hit, bringing the Sixers total to $98.6 million for 12 players. Based on current projections of $122 million salary cap, $149 million luxury tax threshold, the luxury tax apron will come in just shy of 155.7. Teams can't cross that line at any point in next season if they use the non-taxpayer mid-level exception, the biannual exception, or receive a player in a sign-and trade. If a team does cross the apron, it can only sign players via the taxpayer mid-level exception or veteran minimum. Wow, that was a headache to read. Just we're capped out, all right? That's it. If Harden picks up his player option and the Sixers don't trade the number 23 pick, the Sixers would roughly $146 million compared to 13 players. They'd have less than $9.7 million in wiggle room before hitting the apron, which means they wouldn't have access to full non-taxpayer mid-level exception. At that point, they would be better off restricting themselves to $6.4 million to avoid being hard capped. Hopefully this tells me how much money we have to spend this offseason, because this is just a bunch of mumbo-jumbo numbers. And by the way, people telling me that the Sixers can't trade the number 23 pick because they can't trade first-round picks in consecutive years. Technically, how does this go? Let me say this without hurting my brain too much. Technically, the number 23 pick belongs to the Brooklyn Nets, who have to agree to draft a player and then defer the pick to 2023, which would give us that player. So it's trading the number 23 pick, but it's not technically trading a first-round pick because technically it belongs to the Nets, who have to draft a player, defer the pick. I think I said that right. I'm impressed with myself right now. I'm pretty sure I said that right. In that scenario, the Sixers might consider guaranteeing Danny Green's $10 million salary, even though he's likely to miss most of it all of next season. Although those injuries will rob him of any standalone trade value, the Sixers could package him either with a number 23 or one of their players to bring back a bigger contract. Good God. Teams can only receive a certain amount of salary in a trade based on how much they send out. Any teams over the luxury tax threshold take back 125% of the salary they trade away, plus $100,000. By packaging Green and Furkan Korkmaz or Matisse Thybulle, the Sixers could receive a player earning $19 million next season, and they'd still have their taxpayer mid-level. See, there's a lot of things that they could do to I like that they use the word wiggle room, because that's literally what it is, especially if Harden picks it up. As a free agent, Harden's starting salary next year can be no higher than $46.5 million, or 105% of his salary from this past season. He can sign a 5-year, $270 million contract, regardless of whether he opts out or picks up his player option, although the Sixers aren't likely to offer him a full 5-year max deal either way. Who is this quote from? Brian Windhorst. I think at this point nobody in the NBA believes... Okay, let's read this from Brian Windhorst, because this is kind of interesting. See if we can get this a little bigger on the screen here. Hey, thanks everybody for hanging out, man. 175 people in here. Hit the like button on the stream. That would be greatly appreciated. You guys are the best. This is some off-season stuff here. Running back Philly. I'm using a cheap USB microphone because I had some technical difficulties with this setup over here. But we're still here, man. We're still here hanging out. Lunchtime live. Thanks for being here. Check out the sponsors in the description. Go to runitbackmerch.com. Get this Joel Embiid, the real MVP t-shirt at runitbackmerch.com. And selling the Sell the Team t-shirts are coming. The Sell the Team t-shirts are coming. And man, I want every person in Philly to have one of those on, because we need to start spreading the word. This upcoming season is probably the final straw. if things continue to go south this upcoming season, man, we are fully on the Sell the Team bandwagon. Where are we at? I think at this point, nobody in the NBA believes that the 76ers are going to give James Harden a max contract. Brian Windhorst reported in mid-May. So the question is, what is he willing to do? So yeah, you guys are right. Somebody said that he has no choice. Because if he opts in to that player option, he's going to play for 1 year, and they're going to be like, listen, sign for less money or see you later. So if the Sixers add number 23, the Sixers could hope that Harden is willing to follow in the footsteps of his former teammate Chris Paul, who declined to. Okay, I like this here. I like this. I didn't remember Chris Paul declining a player option and signing a smaller contract. So that is what James Harden could do. You guys are right. And I hope he does that. Chris Paul declined a $44 million player option last summer to sign a 4-year, $120 million contract with only $75 million guaranteed. So, do you guys think James Harden could do the same thing Chris Paul did? I hope so. The Sixers should hope Harden is willing to follow in the footsteps of his former teammate. Yeah, we already read that. Harden might not be willing to take that much of a discount. Paul was 36 when he signed his new deal, while Harden turns 33 in August. But even taking a few million less than his max salary next season could give the Sixers access to full non-taxpayer mid-level exception. We'll see, man. We'll see. I would be happy at that happening. But he has until June 29th to make it happen. Yahoo Sports, new mock trade has Sixers acquiring star Donovan Mitchell from the Jazz. Then they strategically put Tyrese Maxey on the photo here. I know exactly why they did that. Because I was talking about this the other day. Some people agreed. Some people disagreed. I was just saying, if Donovan Mitchell wants out, and he's willing, I don't know if he has player options or no trade clauses or anything like that, but if he wants out, and he's willing, or it's possible for us to land him in Philly, listen, say what you want about his shooting percentage, 36% from 3, 37. It's not atrocious. Say what you want about his efficiency, about his usage rate, about his amount of shots per game, etc. Donovan Mitchell is, in my opinion, Tyrese Maxey fast-forwarded 4 years. I honestly think if James Harden comes back in better shape and we see Brooklyn version James Harden, shout out to Rasan Granderson, that always, he's right about that. If we see Brooklyn version James Harden and you have Donovan Mitchell and Joel Embiid, that's a championship level 3 stars on the floor. And then other things matter, don't get me wrong. You still need to fill out the bench with more athleticism. You still need role players that aren't Furkan Korkmaz, Shake Milton, and Georges Niang. But it would be hard for me to say no to this as much as I love Tyrese Maxey. So let's see what Yahoo Sports says, okay? The Philadelphia 76ers currently have a star duo in Joel Embiid and James Harden that they hope can deliver the franchise's first championship since 1983. After falling in the Eastern Conference semifinals for the 4th time in 5 seasons. Yuck! The Sixers believe they might need a 3rd star to get it done. You don't say. S. Mitchell is an overrated brat. Mitchell is a choke artist. He doesn't pass. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. The Sixers are not the Utah Jazz. The Sixers have a superstar center. You just need a player that can take the pressure off of Joel Embiid, especially when you get to the playoffs. Because Maxey's not there yet, quite obviously. And, Tobias Harris doesn't have it. James Harden didn't have it. With that being said, the Utah Jazz might be the team to deliver that third star to Philadelphia. The Jazz just lost head coach Quinn Snyder on Sunday after he decided to step down, and that leaves star guard Donovan Mitchell wondering what in the world is going on. Did he say that? Sources say Donovan Mitchell was surprised and disappointed. Ooh, that's juicy. Sources say Donovan Mitchell was surprised and disappointed. NZ says, yeah, let's trade more depth for another mid-shooting guard. That would surely get us past in the second round. Somebody that averages 26 points per game is mid? 26 points per game. That's mid? Come on. I know it's tough to give up depth. I know it's tough to trade a kid like Tyrese Maxey. Donovan Mitchell's mid? I can't go there. He may want out of Utah, and that may trigger a possible trade for the three-time All-Star who averaged 25.9 points per game in 2022. A mock trade performed by the Salt Lake Tribune in Utah has the Sixers acquiring Mitchell and Royce O'Neal for Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, a 2024 first-round pick, and a 2026 second-round pick. You saying no to that? Are you saying no to that? Do you watch the Jazz? Bro, he shoots 30 shots for 26 points every game. That is insanely false. He does not shoot 38% from the field. Come on, bro. That's simple math. Are you saying no to this trade? Donovan Mitchell and Royce O'Neal for Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, a 2024 first-round pick. So you're giving Tyrese Maxey, you would be unloading Tobias Harris's contract also, which is nice. Matisse Thybulle, sell him high. And a first-round pick? That sounds like a lot to me. Michael Miller says, I would do this trade. Speed Demon says, I would love that. Jabbar says, yes, that's a trade. That's tough, dude. Nick, what's up, man? That is tough. Donovan Mitchell and Royce O'Neal. You get to unload Tobias Harris. I feel like that's too much, though. Like, Maxey, Tobias and Maxey. Like, you take Tobias' contract. We give you the young stud, Tyrese Maxey. Throw in a first-round pick? I don't know. I don't think you have to give all three of those players in a first-round pick. I think you give Tobias, Tyrese a first, and then you could trade Matisse Thybulle somewhere else as part of something else. I feel like that's a lot. Don't forget Donovan Mitchell's 25 points. 25 years old. Romp, give Maxey 20 shots, he puts up the same production. Do you think so? You might be right. But does Maxey get 20 shots? Does Maxey have under 20 shot attempts because somebody's telling him not to shoot it? Or is he just not as aggressive as Donovan Mitchell? Is he not as confident? What I saw late in the playoffs was Tyrese Maxey kind of reverting back to a rookie, and he really needs other players to get attention from the defense for him to have driving lanes and things like that. Like, I just didn't see... The only really dominant, confident game I saw from Maxey was where he hit 8 threes. So if the whole thing is based off of him shooting 50% from 3, then, I don't know if he's there yet. Maxey does the same thing as Mitchell. I can't agree with that. But hey, thank you guys for being here. I'm just asking questions, that's all. I don't know if I would do that trade. I feel like that's just way too much, but 5 teams that make sense as trade partners for Tobias Harris. I might go there. I might go there tomorrow. I think I'll go there tomorrow, man. Michael Miller, exactly. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at, man. That's exactly what I'm saying. Do you want to win or wait for Maxey to be consistent on the court? That's what I'm saying. Like, people don't want to trade him because he's going to be a future star, but the dilemma here is exactly that. Yeah, keeping Maxey is amazing. He might be a star in 3 seasons. Do you want to win now, or are you giving up on the process and moving forward, building around Tyrese Maxey? Is that what we're saying here? His timeline is just not in line with Joel Embiid. His team needs depth more than another overpaid star. I don't know, man. I struggle with that. Because what I saw in the playoffs was Joel Embiid trying to play through injuries. Obviously, if he's not healthy, we're not winning anything anyway. But he needed help. And your second star, James Harden, gave you 11 points, gave you 2 shot attempts in the second half. Tobias Harris did the disappearing act that we knew he was going to do. And Tyrese Maxey was just too young at that time to really have the confidence to try to step up and shoulder the load. So I don't think adding a couple veteran bench pieces makes us any more likely to win that second round playoff series. I think you do need another star. I'm agreeing with you guys, man. We need length and athleticism. Acquire wings that can actually do something athletic and or shoot. I agree with that. King Kane says, where do you guys get that Embiid's window is closing? He just had his best season. He has great mid-range game, and that will sustain him. Yeah, I go back and forth with that too. But I mean, history will tell you that a 7-foot, 280-pound player doesn't play until he's 38 years old. That just doesn't happen. He does have a great mid-range game. As he slows down and his athleticism declines and his dominance declines, does he end up 33 years old, playing a DeMarcus Cousins role as a backup center? I just don't think he's going to be at a superstar level for many more years. I think he's going to be at a superstar level for maybe 4 more seasons before he starts to decline, and that's if everything goes well. And everything hasn't gone well yet. As Eddie Webster in the chat, Dom said, Embiid is injured every single playoffs. Literally everyone I would trade Embiid, to be honest, and build around Maxey. That's another topic for me, man, if you would blow it up. I think Embiid is so good when he's healthy that you just have to keep trying. I agree. 3 or 4 more of all-star level play. I agree with that. And then, and that's if he stays healthy, and then he'll start to decline, and maybe he plays for a long time, maybe he doesn't. But do you go all in and continue to try to win in those 3 or 4 years? Or do you say, we can't trade a young asset? I don't know. But either way, man, sell the team. Josh Harris has begun. The house cleaning has begun. Chris Heck has resigned as the president of business operations. Josh Harris and Dave Blitzer sold a 5% stake of the team. of their company, that owns the Sixers and the New Jersey Devils. Glenn Rivers is our biggest problem. Raheem, thank you for that. Before I go, that's the topic I want to throw out there. All right? Sixers, it's your turn. The Phillies are 3-0 since firing their dinosaur manager, coach, who has only one World Series ring in his entire career, with an overpowered New York Yankees lineup. They should have fired him this past offseason, but they said, we'll give him one more chance. And then he did things at the beginning of this season, late in games, that clearly, definitively cost them games. And he was stubborn. He was refusing to play young players. And they finally said, Joe Girardi, enough is enough. We're moving on. You're out of here. We need some new blood. We need new energy. We need something else. That is eerily similar to me. That is eerily similar to the Doc Rivers situation in Philadelphia as the 76ers head coach. He's old and stubborn. He only has one ring with an overpowered Boston Celtics team. He should be fired this offseason. He's not going to be. This upcoming season comes around. If the team looks the same, energy-wise, effort-wise, intensity-wise, you got to fire Doc Rivers. You got to get rid of the old dinosaur so that somebody with more of an open mind can come in and play young players and focus on player development. Get somebody with a motor, somebody that's motivated, somebody that wants to win. Doc Rivers doesn't care anymore. He was just on a podcast talking about defending himself again, talking about all the negative things people say about him. He was just on a podcast again defending himself. Well, if you look what we did in Orlando, we consider that a success. And then in Boston, like if Kevin Garnett didn't get injured, who knows how many championships we would have won. And then in LA, excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. The most narcissistic people I've ever seen in my life. There's 3 of them. My baby mom, Amber Heard, Doc Rivers, and Ben Simmons. There's 4 of them. There's 4 of the most narcissistic people I've ever met in my life. Will never take blame for anything. Deflect, deflect, deflect. Lie, lie, lie. Excuse, excuse, excuse. Gotta get Doc Rivers out of here. And since the Phillies fired Joe Girardi, they won 3 games in a row. And 2 days ago, Monday night. Wait, 2 days ago? Was that yesterday? Sunday night. They were down 6-2. Bryce Harper hit a grand slam to tie the game. And Bryson Stott, rookie Bryson Stott, stepped to the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning and hit a walk-off home run to win the game. And Tyrone Johnson, 97.5 The Fanatic, had a tweet that just summed it up perfectly. He said if Joe Girardi didn't get fired 3 days ago, Bryson Stott would not have been in the game to hit that walk-off home run. And you saw a different level of energy. You saw a different level of excitement from the players in the dugout. You saw a different culture. But when Tyrone said that, if Joe Girardi was not fired, Bryson Stott would not have been in the game to hit that walk-off home run. I retweeted it, or I quote tweeted it, and I said, simultaneously, if Doc Rivers wasn't fired, Isaiah Joe wouldn't have been in the game to hit the game-winning 3 in the 4th quarter. I was hypothesizing, but is that a word? I was being facetious, but what I'm saying is, if Doc Rivers gets fired, maybe you see young players get a chance. Maybe you see young players develop. Maybe you see a different energy in this team than what we've seen. So I just think that firing Joe Girardi for the Phillies is so similar to what needs to happen in the Sixers organization. Theorizing. Thank you for that, Bernard. That's what I'm ending with, man. Thank you guys for being here. Hit the like button on your way out. 4-point play tonight. Jay the Bull, Unk Dove, Tone to Shields the second. 4-point play tonight at 9 o'clock. Check us out. We'll be talking about all these topics and other topics and answering the chat and arguing and debating and chopping it up. So join us tonight at 9 o'clock right here on Run It Back Philly. Don't forget to go to aura.com/runitback to sign up for a 14-day free trial to protect yourself from identity fraud. You shop online, you bank online, you invest online, you gamble online. Protect yourself by going to aura.com/runitback. Sign up for a 14-day free trial. Link is in the description. Go to the merch store. Thank you all that support this channel, that come into these streams. You guys are the best. I'll see you tonight at 9. Peace.